Sonic Colors!
Living in the city.
It's like a roller coaster.
I've already reviewed Sonic Colors before, you know that, and like I said before, like, you know, it's fine, it was good for the time, but nowadays looking at it and comparing it to other better games, you know, it's lacking in good level design, its gameplay is mostly 2D, even though it's being advertised as a 3D Sonic game, and the characters, you know, are painfully unfunny, the story's boring, like, you get it. So when SEGA announced that a remaster was on the way, developed by a third-party studio, Blind Squirrel, it was fine. It was fine, and I didn't really care all that much. It's a remaster of what is at this point the most basic Sonic game out there. I didn't even know if I was going to review it. Sure, Sonic looked a little weird, and the graphics looked a bit odd in the preview trailers, but it was Sonic Colors. There's no possible way they could mess it up.
Who's fast? Speed by.
RadicalSoda, what are you saying? The game has been patched. It has been patched. That is what you were going to say, right? You were going to say that? Yeah? Well, listen very closely now. I don't give a shit. Nowadays, games are being released in, quite frankly, disgusting states. Not only buggy and glitchy, but straight up unfinished. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl being two stellar examples of this, but we'll get to those. Oh, yes, we will. Don't worry about that. But Sonic Colors. Oh, yet another wonderful example of what happens with the complacency that I've been seeing. Complacency in consumers just accepting games at unacceptable qualities, all because they can patch it later. Don't worry, guys. Well, I don't swing that way. I'm going to be reviewing what I bought, not what gets fixed weeks later down the line. I bought this disc, so I'll be reviewing the contents of this disc. Much like I'd be reviewing any other older game. When's the last time you had a PS2 game crash on you, huh? Despite the constant shit Sonic Heroes gets about being buggy and rushed, and yes it is, I have never had this game crash, freeze, or just stop working on me. Somehow! Sonic Heroes for the PS2 has a higher bar for quality control than half of the AAA games released this year, and probably the year before that. It can't get day one patches. Its problems can't be fixed weeks later on down the line. You get what you buy, and well, what you get is what I'll be reviewing. So that's what I'll be doing today, and probably for the foreseeable future. I'll be giving every single game I review an equal playing field. Day one release. No updates, nothing. That's fair. Just because a game gets patches, it doesn't mean it deserves them when it's being reviewed. So, well done, Sonic Colors Ultimate. Your game is so horribly unfinished and buggy that you've changed the way I review games forever, and that deserves a round of applause. Well done. Well done.
Hello, I'm Bear Grylls, and I'm here for the Sonic Colors review. Can I join in?
Yeah?
Oh, great! I even bought my own Wii remote.
Oh, you won't need that. We're playing the remastered version today, so I've actually got the Switch copy you can...
Let's
Okay, listen, look. I don't want to bitch. I don't want to be that guy, you know, the one that points out every little thing that's wrong with the game. Wait a minute, I love being that guy. Take a look at this! That's not even a real reflection. How do I know? Because the wisps aren't being reflected, and the duplicate 3D model of Sonic has his shoe clipping through the ground.
Oh yeah, that felt great. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Hi guys, it's me, RadicalSoda, the guy you're currently watching the video of. I just realized something while going through the footage. It turns out that the two Sonic models, one of which is meant to be a reflection of the model of the Sonic on top, aren't even timed correctly. Look, he's running at a different time. It's not a reflection at all. What is this? SEGA! You've been a bad boy! As this is an unpatched, fair look at this shitpile Sega's trying to claim as a remaster, you might be worried about the seizure-inducing Switch port.
Sorry, the what?
But never fear, I'm playing the PS4 version today. I hear it's the one to go for if you don't want to have an epileptic fit. So, great. Let me pose a question for you. What's the first thing you think of when I say Sonic Colors? For me, and I'm assuming at least a few of you out there, it's the stellar opening cutscene. I miss the days when these things were really high quality. You might not notice it unless somebody points it out to you, so sorry about this, but the most recent CG cutscenes for Sonic games have been dipping in quality for a while now, especially when you compare them to the ones back in games like Unleashed or even 06. But that's not an issue here, however, because this opening always gets me pumped. Heck, it was half the reason I even wanted the game in the first place, the other half being it's a Sonic game! I heard Ultimate has that new rendition of Reach for the Stars that they played at the Sonic Symphony. That was actually really good, so I'm actually quite excited to hear it again. Well, that's upsetting. I'm sorry, but is my intro cutscene stuttering? I don't even know what to say. How do you mess this up? This I kinda get, like, yeah, you messed up a bit of code somewhere and now Sonic's being punished for his sins. But cutscene stutter? It's pre-rendered. All you gotta do is let it play. Well, once you start the game, as always, it immediately flings you into the first act of Tropical Resort. How long is this loading screen? And once it finally loads... I know there are people out there who like the look of the game. I get it. I do. I get it. Doesn't stop it looking like ours, but I get it. Sonic Colors is... It's Sonic Colors. It's the name of the game, for crying out loud. Of course there's gonna be bright and colorful graphics throughout. I hear what you're saying. And Tropical Resort is bright and colorful. Don't get me wrong. It's just... bright and colourful in all the wrong ways.
Oh, RadicalSoda! Of course it's going to look bright! Listen, once my game loads, I'll show you that it's— oh my god!
Someone's taken the neon lights Earth and Sonic himself into Photoshop and slammed that exposure setting up as high as it can go while dropping the buildings and foliage into everlasting darkness. So am I looking at a bush or Ansem's wet dream? Sonic controls just like he used to, weird starting walk cycle and all. I still think it's strange, nobody starts off a run by walking first, just saying. You can still boost, of course, and obviously you need to click the white wisps in order to do so. Say, what's this? Looks like some nasty bastard has flattened all the wisps. Yakko, what are we gonna do? And I'll do it again too. Honestly, them not bothering to change the white wisps to 3D models isn't really a bad thing. In theory. But this game ain't running in 480p no more. Once you make the jump to HD, these things sort of start getting a little more noticeable. Doesn't help that half the time they aren't even fully facing the screen, making it real obvious. Going back to the subject of the boost before I spin off into another tangent. Gee whiz! Could we please get an option to disable the music filter? Because if you're gonna go through all the trouble of remixing the level themes, I feel like it'd be beneficial to everybody if we could just hear them in a quality other than Game Boy speaker. Oh yeah, this sounds great! If you couldn't tell, I'm a bit of an audiophile.
What a file?
I don't know if it was like this before, but was there always this much Vaseline smeared over the screen when you're boosting? I can barely see what's going on, and that's not a particularly good thing when you're traveling at top speed. Sonic still has his other moves, of course, can't forget about those. So, I can welcome you with open arms back to the weird hovering jump, where he looks like he's doing a half-hearted double jump, the slide, which you need to use about twice as many times as in Sonic Forces, so pretty much never, and the homing attack, which now, if you time correctly, gives you a tiny teeny flake of boost.
Oh!
Oh, what? What's going on?
What on earth was that?
The perfect homing attack.
An eagle got in here!
Sonic still got his double jump once again on the same button as the homing attack, meaning that if you want to double jump near an enemy, you can't, because he'll go flying off to who knows where. And finally, the quick step and the drift. Okay, let's have a quick chat about those two moves. The original Sonic Colors had to make sure you could use all of Sonic's moves using only a single Wiimote, which meant certain changes had to be made to his control scheme, you know, the one from Unleashed. For example, there are no shoulder buttons on the Wiimote, so the quick step was moved to the control stick, meaning in certain segments, instead of having smooth 360 control over Sonic, moving left or right while running instead will force you to quick step. In some segments you could slow down and gain control of Sonic again, but in most of them, mainly relegated to boss fights, the game turns into one of those infinite runners where all you can do is quick step. And jump and slide, I guess. Not that you need the slide in any of the boss fights. Actually, they've totally made like a horizontal laser segment, like in the final boss, we had to alternate between sliding and jumping. That would have been pretty cool. It's the same deal with the drift. I mean, because this thing only has 2 buttons on it, it means that it also had to be relegated to certain segments in the level, this time overriding the boost button instead. Of course, now with the Wiimote not having to hold the developers back into only using 2 buttons, after all, the Joy-Con controllers, even by themselves, just one of them, has more than enough buttons to fully utilize Sonic's moveset, they decided to move the quick step to the L1 and R1 buttons and the drift to the right trigger. I'm lying, they didn't change anything. I mean, I get it. Like, I understand that it would take extra effort to code in a freely usable quick step, but isn't that what I'm paying for? Sonic Colors Ultimate? The ultimate version of Sonic Colors? If I wanted to play the same control scheme as a Wiimote, I would go play it on my Wii. Look at that! Can't forget about that rail grinding! Actually, yes you can, because it's still as boring as ever, like playing a poor man's Sonic Dash. Can we please go back to SA2 or Heroes grinding, please? Anything better than Discount Subway server here. At least Unleashed was fast enough to make it more about reaction time to warrant the simplicity. Anyway, so you make your way through Act 1.
Get on rails to grind.
As I do as Tails says, or else he'll probably kill my family, I learned that getting on rails to grind doesn't just lead to grinding on rails, it also leads to launching you skyward! And then miss the rail anyway. Or not! Oh, right, I forgot about the magnets and Sonic shoes! I can't continue on like this without mentioning the sound mixing. I was gonna do a segment on it later, but boy howdy does it rear up pretty much immediately with a full frontal assault on the ears. Well, I shouldn't say full frontal, it's more like fully on the left and then fully on the right and then on the left again. Turns out that Blind Squirrel ain't just blind but deaf too. What on earth happened to the audio here? 1 minute Tails is speaking to me in one ear and then Sonic's boosting in the other seconds later. And the menu sounds, you don't even need directional audio for those, but somehow they're busted too! The 2D segments aren't even safe. Sounds will just randomly switch ears even halfway through a sound effect. It doesn't matter which way you're facing or where you are in accordance with the camera. Boosting, jumping, collecting rings, going through boost rings, footsteps, fucking footsteps. If it makes sound, they screwed it up somehow. And that's not even half of the sound issues. The eagle screech homing attack from before, that shit goes supersonic. My eardrums quake in fear whenever I boot this game up.
Dash rings give you a speed boost. Rainbow dash rings also give you a bonus.
That's great, Tails. Really it is. You'll let my family go now, right? Out of all the words you just shouted there, announcer guy, what was it exactly about amazing that deserved the one-air treatment? Not that I'd be able to hear your answer anyway. The park token sound effect just rendered me deaf! That's right, Tails taking up residence in my right ear isn't the only new addition around here. As well as the red rings found throughout the stages like before, park tokens are a new collectible scattered around the levels for you to find. Thankfully, unlike Sonic Forces collectibles, they don't just gather dust after you've grabbed them, instead acting as a currency for the new customization shop.
Oh wow, a customization shop! I can't wait to make my Sonic green!
A green Sonic? You can't do that here, Bear Grylls! Oh, man, you're a riot, man!
Oh, then I'll give him a hat!
A hat? On Sonic? Buddy, you're dreaming!
He can have some new shoes!
New shoes? Try a reskin, dude!
Then I'll douse him in petrol and light the bastard on fire!
Okay, so you want to scroll down to the Aura tab down the bottom? Hey, where's the new menus here are laggy? Like, every other menu is fine, but the new ones implemented have input delay? And not only that, but they take a good while to load. What's the big idea here? My input's being sent to Fiji or something? Geez, Sonic, you're looking exhausted. Here, why don't you sit down for a second? And that's the second act done. And I think the composer's done too. Where the heck's the music? So let's get this straight. You're telling me that not only do the sound effects vary wildly in volume and pan randomly from ear to ear, but also sometimes the music just can't be bothered playing?
Don't worry, I'll help fix your game.
Mr. Incredibazinga!
Who the hell is this?
You mean it? You'll help make my Sonic Colors Ultimate copy semi-playable?
That's right, just give me 5 minutes. What the fuck am I doing?
Oh. It's Sonic! You know, when the game was first revealed, I was wondering what the new reanimated cutscenes were going to look like. After all, the original Sonic Colors had pre-rendered cutscenes at, what, 480p? They're not exactly going to cut it in our 60 FPS, 1080p, 4K Ultra HD gamer landscape we got going on nowadays. So, what did SEGA do for this one? Re-render the cutscenes in a higher resolution? That seems to be like the most obvious choice. However, if they really wanted to show us how much they cared, they could always redo the cutscenes with a high-quality animation, you know, proper lip-syncing and all.
Oh boy, I sure do love these old original cutscenes.
Yeah, they just chucked the old ones into an AI upscaler and slapped them in. Honestly, they don't look all that bad. Like, that is if you ignore the artifacts and Tails' wonky-ass eyes. Oh, and the fact that the entire environment is lit completely differently than in-game. Remember the Shadow Realm buildings from before? Here, they're looking perfectly fine.
Totally harmless.
Because Eggman...
Who?
Secretly built
I mean, I know Eggman, but who the hell is Eggman?
Wow. Plot or not, you can't be mad at this view. This place has taken beauty to the next level.
Now, while it's a little disappointing they didn't redo the cutscenes, you know, bring them up to a higher standard. Actually, you know, looking at the rest of the game, who knows how that would have actually turned out. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise. It turns out that the game does actually contain the raw animation files for these cutscenes. So yeah, Shortly after that, a couple of hardcore Sonic fanatics actually started putting them together with updated graphics. Like, if a couple of fans can do it, then what's your excuse, Sega? Well, what is it? You got a note from your mum. Ran out of time. No, Sega, that's been your excuse for the last 19 years. You gotta get your act together, man.
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to leave the keys in this thing.
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to give this game an 8 out of 10. But it happened. I don't get it. I really don't. Every single cutscene on my perfectly fine copy of Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PS4 running on the PS5 stutters. I have no idea why. I have no idea how. All I know is that I just should have gone to Pirate Bay. Here we are in Act 3 and it's time to show off a little Wisp action. Finally, the whole colors part of Sonic Colors, and I've kept you waiting for... What? How's that fix coming along?
They're working on it, all right? This is the worst spaghetti code I've ever seen. And it's not even spaghetti, it's macaroni.
So apparently the word function isn't in the Laser Wisp's dictionary because it decided to hit us with not only 1, not 2, but 3 glitches. Or I guess you could call them failings as a developer. I'm sure most of you have already figured them out, but let's go through them together just to really make my blood pressure rise. First problem. As Sonic flies through the rainbow ring, he faces down for a little bit. Normally, in the original colors, if I tried to use the laser at this point, it'd put me the right way up and would have no problems, continue on with our life, happy days! But in Sonic Colors Ultimate, can't forget the Ultimate, this is the ultimate version of Sonic Colors, it just doesn't bother, meaning I'm stuck aiming straight up and down. Perfect for all those times you just don't want to progress! Okay, hi everybody, me again. So, as I've said multiple times, I'm trying to be fair when talking about a game, and I actually did get this bit wrong. It turns out that in the original colors, you do indeed get stuck aiming straight up and down here. You can't spin around doing 360s like an Ultimate, but yeah, the same problem is still here. Although, I did test it multiple times, and even though you do get stuck aiming straight up and down in the original, the game does correct your course and send you along the proper laser path when you let go, which Ultimate does not do. So while I do admit I got this wrong and it was still a problem in the original, at least it didn't stop you from moving forward. It also brings up another issue with the remaster. Did they fix the original game's bugs? If this is anything to go by, they just made them worse. Alright, thought I'd just make that clear before going any further. Please enjoy the video. Second problem! The laser line you'd usually use to guide your aim. Apparently Blind Squirrel really wanted to live up to their name because you can barely see the damn thing. When everything goes dark to help light up the laser mechanics, they forgot to light up the laser mechanics! Speaking of the lighting, it gets pretty hard to see the stage thanks to the level 99 ultimate shroud of darkness they throw over the screen when you do activate the Wisp. Believe it or not, the original game didn't get so dark you had to wait for your pupils to dilate before you could see where the bloody hell you were going! I don't even know how the main aiming reticule barely being visible even made it to launch. It wasn't even fixed in the day 1 patch. Heck, it took weeks before it was even fixed. Is it fixed? I don't even know! Oh, and problem 3. Where's the fucking music?! Jesus Christ! I don't know what's worse, the broken Wisp meter, the Sonic from another dimension, or my brand new tinnitus! Even the laser's trail isn't lit up like it's meant to be. Like, honestly, how do you screw this up so badly? Well, at least the music at the end of the level's playing, even if it is only in one ear. Here, and I know that this one's a bit of a nitpick. Trust me, I know, but what's going on with the giant debris bursting out of the exploding numbers? They weren't always this big, right? No. No, they weren't. No, okay. So, well, I'll just let you guys in the comments decide which version looks better, huh? Cast your votes now! Time's up! The winner is... SEGA, because you bought their busted-ass game. Now let's move on to Act 4. Damn it. I wish I could enjoy things. I really wish I could. Sonic's run animation is slower than it is in the original level select. I know, right? Big deal, RadicalSoda. What, do you get off on complaining? Yes, but that's not the point. Sonic's moving slower, but the sound effect of him running hasn't been changed. I don't care who you are, that's annoying. Whoa, new music! I almost forgot. Sonic Colors Ultimate has all new remixes throughout the entire game, and also for purchase on the Epic Games Store. You were so close, Sega, you almost had it there. Aside from Sega being a money-hungry shartlet of a company with their day 1 DLC, one of them being a fucking texture swap for Sonic shoes, the remixes here in Tropical Resort are pretty good. Most of them are pretty similar to the originals, and I would have appreciated an option to swap back to the original tracks, much like in other remasters, but as long as the music is good, I don't really mind all too much. And what do you know? They did eventually add that option in another update, even though the game takes 2 hours to beat, and so who the heck is still playing it? But hey, they tried, didn't they? Of course, all the good music in the world can't break through the ever-growing onslaught of unbalanced air-blasting sound effects. One day I'll be able to hear the music. One day! I'll never get why people like the stage design in this game. For the first 2 acts or so, yeah, like, the levels are fine. But here I am in Act 4 running through an exact replica of Act 1. It stops me feeling like I'm progressing through the game, more so rather I'm just flopping around in one place until the next cutscene plays. Could you imagine if in Sonic 3, Angel Island Act 2 was just a shorter version of Act 1 but now had blocks everywhere that didn't match the stage's theme? That would suck! And it's exactly what Sonic Colors does. It's got about 2 acts worth of content and then stretches it into 6. And on the rare chance they do add something new into these acts, it's usually shit! Now it's time to introduce the new Wisp... now it's time to check out the new Wisps.
Well, viewers, it looks like he's forgotten how to form sentences again, so we're gonna have to wait until next time on RadicalSoda's Sonic Colors Ultimate Review! Will we ever discover the secret behind the cutscene stutter? Will the game ever function for more than 2 minutes at a time? Will Yakker reform into a 3-dimensional shape? And most importantly, will RadicalSoda ever get out of Tropical Resort? It's been 20 damn minutes, and he's only on Act 4!